Tonight, Darely and I were like, Darely, one more time, as I keep forgetting, it's so outrageous. What is the statistic again on how many people don't stick to New Year's resolutions?
Yeah, it's between 80 and 88% of people by the second week of January have already given up on their New Year's resolutions, which is why Laura and I have really decided let's pull this masterclass together and see what we can do to help people just reboot, rethink, line out where they want to go, what they want to do here.
And here's what's really interesting. For those of you that maybe we're going to talk about you not beating yourself up, but for those of you that are like, oh, I really wanted before the January 1st, I was like the other day thinking I was supposed to do three major things before January 1st that has to do with the work. And I thought, wait a minute, when is Chinese New Year? It's not to February 17th. So I've got a couple more weeks. And then I went down, I was like, okay, what is it going to be? This was the snake, this is the year of the horse. And the whole analogy of a horse, and if you what was I found so interesting, it talked about, okay, the year of the snake. People were organizing, they were trying to put things in their day timer. Mia's here.
Yeah.
And they put things the year of the snake. Hey, is it Maya or Mia? Better welcome.
Hello,
Hi,
Hi.
it's Mia.
Mia. Hi,
Hi,
Mia.
Mia.
Welcome. We just started. I just was saying that I was actually quite relieved with deadlines in store for me for January 1st. And rather than spend any negative energy on the fact that I didn't get it done, when I realized Chinese New Year didn't start to February 17th, I was like, oh my gosh, I have another 6 weeks. But then that led me to think, okay, what was 2025? And it was the year of the snake, which is all organizing, planning, reflecting, looking back what was my journey going to be like? What do I want in the future? But the year of the horse is let's just get it done. And so, all you horses that are here, I think tonight our intention is we want you to leave tonight with number one, knowing what's coming next, but a relief that with what's going on, it's not your fault where you're at if you can't spend any energy getting negative. Number two, a little bit more clarity we hope to share with you because we'd love to educate on how your body works. And if you can take away three things that will help you plan or you might implement in your life, doesn't matter what part of the holistic circle. And then also the confidence that you know what to do next without extremes. And I think there's so much garbage out there and so many extremes out there that we don't have to. We just have to look at what can we use first, what's going to serve us well first. So before we reset the room, I just wanted all of you to do 2 box breathing. And if this is not your thing, just pretend. Because box breathing is so good for you, and we'll be talking about it later. And it's basically, if you're sitting, relax your shoulders. If you're standing, relax your feet and your shoulders. But it's inhaling to a count of 4, holding your breath for 4 seconds, exhaling to 4, and then holding that for 4 seconds. So even with 2 cycles, it can totally reset our cortisol level. It can reset where we're at, regardless of what this word stress means to you. So bear with me, humor me. Are you ready? So you're going to inhale through your nose, 4 counts. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Feel your chest expand. 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold it. 2, 3, 4. I'm going to use my finger because I'm going to join you. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Shh. Hold it. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Shh. Hold it. Roll your shoulders back 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you're sitting in a chair, rotate. If you're standing, just twist. Open up those channels in your back. 2 arms up. Stick your chest out. This way, you open the front door every day and look at the light. My mother's 97, does this, regardless of how cold. look at that energy and sunlight or just daylight. Oh. All right, dear Lee, let's get started.
All right. Very good. I think you are starting us out tonight, Laura.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit about, let's call it a reset. And with the core message being your body isn't failing, it's protecting you. And I just think we need to let ourselves understand that many people blame themselves because they don't understand how their body works under stress. Now, I do personal training, I do everything. But when I'm strength training, like strength training some clients this morning, we're looking at getting our muscles stretched, then preparing them for, let's say, something as simple as a pushing up so my shoulders have strength to hide things on the top shelf that I don't want other people to find. So I want to have enough strength to put my groceries up to hide something up there. I might have some light weights and then get the lactic acid buildup out of them, shake it out, and then do it again. So the muscle fibers in my shoulders start to break down. And then because I've done it 2 or 3 times, my muscle fibers are now going to heal and rebuild themselves into a stronger toner muscle. Just that strength training alone, which we all need, is stress. That is a good stress. Now, I'm talking about strength training properly, progressive overload, tiny baby steps, being guided on our Facebook group by doing it smartly. But that is a good stress. And I want you to think of your body like a smoke alarm. If you have short-term stress, it's almost, it might sound silly, like cooking toast. The toast goes in, up, the quick stress. But if that alarm is blaring all day long, that is a different kind of constant stress. And when stress stays high, your body assumes something is wrong. I need to protect you right now. Wait a minute, what can I use for resources? I have to protect you. I have to protect you. And so what this restriction does, when you now protect your body because you think you need to eat too little, you need to skip your meals, maybe you're over exercising and you're blaming yourself, even subconsciously, for messing up, what your body hears is food is scarce or life is stressful and danger is on high. So your body says, let's raise that cortisol, get it up there, because that main stress hormone, because I'm going to protect you. Cortisol's job, it's a great word. And how many letters does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 letters. That's a good number. Cortisol job, it keeps your energy available. You want cortisol. It keeps your energy available. Number 2, it helps you survive stress. It protects you in emergencies. Because when cortisol stays high, cortisol is going to help you. When you first wake up in the morning, by the way, we've talked about this. If you go and move vigorously around the house, go out to the garbage, go walking, that within the first 30 to 90 minutes when you wake up, your cortisol goes up when you wake up because it has to get you moving. So by you going and doing something active when you first wake up is going to lower your cortisol level. Awesome way to start the day. When your cortisol stays high, your blood sugar becomes unstable. It's not quite sure what to do. Your cravings increase. And that might be sometimes when we get stressed, we think we have to eat something. The fat storage increases, especially around the belly. And your body holds on to all of this just in case. So for any of you that think you have belly fat, me, remember that it's not stubborn fat, it's protective fat. And I can get rid of it. I can get rid of it by starting to ask myself a little bit more about what does stress mean to me? Like I always think I'm not stressed out at all. I'm a very calm person. But then when I feel something in my shoulders because I have a lot in my plate and there's no time for me to breathe, that is stress. So for me personally, starting to look at situations and going, okay, how is my body receiving this? Is my body think it's stress? What is happening to my cortisol? Is it going up? Does my body feel like it's in fight or flight? And by the way, a great way to calm yourself down, my sister who does energy work does this. If you put one hand on your forehead and one hand right on your throat, one of the chakras, and just focus on breathing. This will calm down your parasympathetic nerve like you can't believe. Yes, Kat, exactly like that. And so I teach the kids this because they come to me after school and they're like, quick, change your clothes. It's time for swimming. And we just sit there and regulate. And then, now let's go and focus. So my first request tonight is for you to start, Mia, Sheridan, everyone here, and Cynthia, Kat, start, and everyone listening to the replay, start looking at what your triggers are and what is the trigger. Is the trigger when I live where I work? Is the trigger for me when no one's supposed to be here and suddenly two people are walking on property? It is, trust me. Figure out what your triggers are, because we have to also figure out how to, and we haven't even talked about nutrition and everything else. We also have to figure out how to balance how we're perceiving that trigger. Now, when you take sleep, when you take a high cortisol stress level and poor sleep, your blood sugar is in total chaos. And after the age of 40, of course, we have to deal with hormones, making this response a little bit stronger. Those good old hormones, we need to fall in love with them rather than hate them. The recovery is slower, and our stress effects are amplified a little bit. So, with you and your girlfriends, when you're sharing things and how you're feeling, maybe just to perceive what the stress body is. So if weight loss doesn't happen in a stressed body, then you got to have safety first. So you've got to spend a few minutes every day making sure, or maybe several times a day, feeling like you're safe. And we're going to come up with a little few more tools and later on. But the bottom line is dieting harder with more restriction raises your stress. Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol tells the body to store fat and everything else because it wants to protect you. And then this, and you've heard Dara Lee talk about habit loops. It's a stress loop. It just keeps on going. So the problem isn't discomfort. It's uncontrolled discomfort. So let's all before we get on to the next part, just like a truce to all of us that we promise to start looking at what might be our uncontrolled discomfort and get a grip on that first. And I think everything else will flow into place. That's my first thing, Dara Lee.
Cool. That's cool, Laura. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about embracing discomfort. Speaking of discomfort, right? I've been listening to an audiobook called Embracing Discomfort by Michael Easter. And what I found really interesting in one of his chapters, he talks about growth really requires discomfort, but it needs to really be intentional and measured and repeatable, not extreme, not punishing, nothing really dramatic. It just needs to be small, little steps that maybe are a little bit uncomfortable that we can take to grow in this area. Our body really does not adapt well to extreme change. And it always reminds me of this book, if you've never read it, Atomic Habits. It's a great book, but it's about making little steps, little changes that might feel a little uncomfortable, but then once you do those a few times, it becomes more comfortable. And it reminds me, Laura, of like working out. It's the same thing. When you start doing some of those exercises, it can be challenging and you're tearing those muscles, right? But then it gets easier once you have done it several times. We don't want to do like starving yourself, skipping meals, trying to overtrain by the food that you overate. Like that's just extreme, right? Also, like white knuckling willpower. There's some tools that we can use besides just willpower to help get through, and beating yourself up when you miss a day. This journey of getting healthier, losing weight, it's not a linear journey. It's not going to go, you're going to lose 1 pound every 2.5 days. You might lose 3, 4 pounds this week, and then next week, maybe you don't lose any. or maybe you gain a pound back. It's an up and down kind of journey, and you have to be okay with that and not beat yourself up, that it is all right. Remember, when you are like beating yourself up, when you're trying to like over restrict yourself, that's adding stress to your body. And Laura just told us about stress. You can't lose weight in a stressed body. It's not going to work. So when we have make these little changes like eating protein first instead of the carbs that are calling your name, committing to daily movement. It might only be 10 or 15 minutes initially. You don't have to say, oh, I've got to work out for an hour a day. No, you don't have to. Laura's perfect example of that. Her Fit in 15 workouts, what she puts on in the Facebook group, those are great little bursts, workout bursts, and some of them are less than 10 minutes. And it just proves that's what you need to do. Just intentional movement. Pause before you react to cravings. That's really huge. Just pause before you jump in and grab something snacky. Does it feel a little bit uncomfortable? Yeah, it does. It's a little bit uncomfortable when you've got this voice in your head saying, "Oh, I want those cookies. I want those cookies." But the more times that you can say, "You know what? I'm really fine without it," or maybe you just want to have one, and that's okay too. You don't need to completely restrict yourself. You need to become comfortable with what works for you. And showing up imperfectly, it's okay. Like I said, like you can mess up. And then maybe you had went out for lunch with a girlfriend and you had a couple drinks and then you had dessert and you say, and then you're like, oh, I blew it, so I might as well blow it for the rest of the day. No, that means, you know what? Okay, I had a nice lunch. I enjoyed it. I ate more than what I would normally want to eat, but it was a good time. And so tonight I'll eat a lighter dinner rather than feeling, oh, I just blew the whole thing. Or rather than say, oh, I'll just wait till Monday to start again. It's about choosing consistency over intensity. And this is really the sweet spot where growth happens is the more consistent you can get. And what I mean by consistent, especially when it comes around food or working out, if you can be 85 to 90% consistent, that's really good. You don't have to get it in your head that you've got to do that every single minute of every single day. There's going to be times, and that is going to, again, be a lot less stressful for you knowing that it's okay. All right, I didn't walk today. Okay, I'll make sure I walk tomorrow, though. That's the kind of thing. Or maybe you didn't get out for your walk, put on some music and maybe dance, or maybe even just stretch and do a little yoga in the house. But your body adapts best to these small, repeatable challenges called micro stresses. They build confidence, they build consistency, and you build trust with yourself when you can commit to these little things to yourself. You build trust in yourself because uh, it can be easier to break a promise to yourself than to somebody else, right? So when you start building that trust that, yes, I can do these little things, it's going to feel better. You're going to feel better, and it's going to build your confidence. Let me see. What is one small thing, slightly uncomfortable habit that you could start practicing starting tomorrow? Think about that one little thing that might feel a little uncomfortable, and your body will adapt. Nothing heroic, nothing dramatic, just something you could do, something that I started doing probably, I don't know how long ago, Laura, 6 months ago, maybe. I started doing planks, and initially I could do maybe 30 seconds and get moving for a few minutes. That's right. Excellent, Cat. And again, it doesn't have to be, like I said, it doesn't have to be a full hour, right? It can be just a little bit, and that is going to make a big difference, that consistency, if you get yourself moving every day a little bit. Start at 10 minutes. I started at 10 minutes when I started working out, and that felt like a lot. I honestly did. but it really is about just making those little changes.
One thing I want to share, you're exactly right, Darely, is, and Kat just mentioned get moving for a few minutes. Kat, one thing I'm doing right now, because I'm about to start an unbelievable schedule at work, and I didn't want to beat myself up or get mad at work, which is my company, that didn't give me permission to have time to do something. So imagine, and some of these guys here know my house, but I live in a duplex, and I live in one half and business is the other half, and I have to go through a walkway to come from one to the next through a door. So I decided, okay, with the way today went, I did my strength training workout, but I didn't get walking in. So two things I did as I opened up the driveway gates, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna go out the driveway and come back in the driveway just every hour. So getting up and getting up, people go to the bathroom. I got up and so went out the driveway, back in the driveway to get, and I don't know how many laps I did, but it definitely probably equaled my walk. The other thing is something as simple as and this is in the Facebook group, and I'll go back and put some more stuff in there. But something as simple for chest and shoulders and back as a push-up against a wall. Every time I go through my side of the building now, I stop at the wall and do a couple push-ups. Why? Because I want my arms to get tighter and more firmer, and I have my own personal reasons. But to feel, just like Darely said, to put, rather than not having time to do the full workout, just by me doing pieces. And Darely, I'm going to share what you've got. You started with nothing. Now you're doing a 3-minute plank. It's hard. So
it's really hard. It's really hard.
But
I
you had
didn't
to
start there.
build. You had to build that resistance, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I was asked you a question. So your husband's not doing those with you?
No.
All right. So and I know you lost over your 50 pounds, and I know you've been through up and down. You've tried every ridiculous stupid diet in the world. So what do you say to yourself to make sure you sit down and get that plank done in the morning or afternoon or?
I do it in the morning because I have found that it works a lot better if I haven't eaten yet. I set my timer. I do 10 minutes of stretching, which includes it's some stretching, it's balance, it's some push-ups. I just started doing some push-ups, and I set my timer for 10 minutes. As soon as I'm done with that, I set the stopwatch and I do my plank. And
Cool.
So I do it in the morning before I can eat breakfast, because I have tried to do it after breakfast and it doesn't work well. So I do it before breakfast.
So how long does that whole thing take you?
Takes me like 15 minutes because it's 10 minutes of stretching, and I set a timer for that. And then I do my plank, and then I roll up my mat, and I'm done.
Okay, so tomorrow morning, just to follow up, ladies, I'll do a sample of that, not 3-minute plank, but a sample of where to start in the Facebook group tomorrow morning. Good.
Yeah.
Cool. Done. Put that in the comments for you. And if you're not in the Facebook group, you got to get in there. So, Darely, can I go on to about?
Yes.
And by the way, one thing that keeps coming out is just to be repeatable. In other words, consistent is one thing, but why not change your verbiage? Why not just be repeatable? In other words, I get to repeat that tomorrow. It's like a little bit more of a positive thing in our brain. It's not dramatic. It's just, I'm going to repeat that again tomorrow and fit it in. So we got to start somewhere. Okay, I want to talk about the core message being, before your body can change, it has to feel safe. So this sort of reset triad we're talking about. And we're firm believers, you got to understand why stuff's happening, but your nervous system is your body's internal safety switch. Just like we did this one to get the parasympathetic nerve to calm down. It's your internal safety switch. And it's always asking one question: am I safe, or do I need to protect? And if the answer is not safe, you're talking about fat loss pauses, digestion slows down, and any kind of recovery stalls. And a girlfriend of mine, I'm just going to share real quick, was in a very bad situation health-wise, all organs failing due to alcoholism, stress, in the hospital. I mean, I couldn't believe she actually lived the first night. Anyhow, she is, and you'll hear from her in the future. She's an amazing lady. She's a herbalist. And I told her the first day I saw her, I said, you know how, Jerry, I mean, and they all hear you, by the way, but she was unconscious or medicated in an induced coma. I say, you know how to heal yourself. You know exactly how to heal yourself. So talk to yourself, get it done. Anyhow, fast forward 15 days. Yesterday, she's sitting in a chair. Her liver numbers, you're talking about advanced liver failure. Her liver numbers are up to normal. Her bloods are good. She is recovering, sitting in a chair for a second, and she was whispering to me because she can now talk, even though she has all sorts of apparatuses. But her recovery is so incredible because she felt safe. I'm convinced of it when I started doing this research. When we all kept telling her, Jerry, you're safe. You're safe. You got the doctor's got this. And I cannot wait till she's in full conversation because I feel this is one reason why because her cortisol level was killing her. And I believe this is one reason why she's still alive, but recovering because she feels safe. And these regulation that our body can give ourselves, we already did the 4-second box breathing, and we'll do it again. And I just want you to think of something while we do it one more time. Because breathing is your fastest reset. They don't teach you that in kindergarten. They don't teach these poor little kids tools of how to deal with parents arguing, people arguing, the feelings they feel when they're little and they don't understand what they mean and they can't verbalize it. No one teaches them breathing. So we got to start now with ourselves, with people we love. And if you're dealing with kids at all, oh my gosh, have them fall in love with breathing just because it's a safe space. And are you being selfish? Yes. It's the me before the we. You're being selfish you cannot serve everybody else until you actually take care of yourself. And I know we're all really good at not doing that. So with the box breathing, once again, if you're sitting down, sit up straight. If you're standing up, just feel grounded in your feet. And as we do 2 cycles, and I'll talk you through it, whether you say the dangerous past or whether you visualize for 2 seconds how you want to feel tomorrow. How do you want to wake up and feel? Just talk to yourself. I want to feel refreshed. I want to feel energized. I want to have a great sleep tonight. Just think about your first next step. Inhale for 4. Hold it. Exhale. Hold it. Visualize. Inhale. Hold it. Shoulders down. Exhale. And hold it. What about when you go to bed tonight? What if we just did a couple box breathings? And they can be 8 seconds, by the way. There's benefits of having 8. And there's also benefits. It's not called a trapezoid, but there's also huge benefits. My sister was telling us in our challenge last time. Let's say you inhale for 4, hold it for 4, exhale for 8, and then hold for 4. So play around it. What's going to happen? Your cortisol rhythm is going to change. You can actually, by having good sleep, you can regulate your hunger hormones and obviously regulate your blood sugar. Poor sleep equals higher stress hormones the next day. So that's cool. So if you wake up tomorrow morning and after, let's say tonight, you had a terrible sleep, wake up in the morning and say to yourself, aha, I had a bad sleep, so I'm going to have higher stress hormones right now, and now it's time to get rid of it. I'm going to do 2 box breathings. I'm going to look at my day. I'm going to look at the rest of the information that we're going to share here about fuel. I'm going to organize my day because I want to feel A, B, and C at the end of it. Good yawn, Kat. So how we visualize how you want to feel. We don't spend time doing this. And if you actually spend time that when you go from subconscious to conscious, when you first wake up and think about how you want to feel with all this, it's going to happen. You will have your day exactly like that. But you've got to spend a hot moment really visualizing how I want to feel, who I want to see, what's it going to feel like when I see them. Better sleep is obviously better metabolic signals. Hydration is another thing we need to think about. I've got some tea on the run right here. And I've also got some water on the run right here. Some people are great at drinking water. When it's colder out, people don't drink as much water. Here's something really crazy. I have 5 different clients and girlfriends who've had lower back problems in Cayman Islands. Don't laugh at us, but our temperatures went down to the 70s. That was really cold for us. And a lot of people don't drink water. So the urinary tract infections went up. So it's just so interesting to me. And of course, for any of you in the winter, you deal with that all the time. You have to remember that you need to drink water. Even mild dehydration raises your cortisol, increases your fatigue, and worsens your cravings. So when your body's hydrated, it feels safe. And one more thing to talk about is light exposure. Morning light is magic. And go back to any sort of, I'm not going to say religion, but a cultural ritual happens to be with the morning sun. And my mom, who, for those who know her, 97 and crazy, super fun. She wakes up every morning and looks at the sun and just inhales the day. And that what it does, it resets her circadian rhythm. It improves her sleep later. It regulates her cortisol timing. So you don't need perfection, just consistency. And going back to one more thing, just your short pauses in the day, and Darely used the word pause, just to take 30 seconds to breathe, stand up, stretch, whether you're pretending to climb a rope or turning or leaning over a chair. Move your jaw around, move your shoulders around. Are you clutching your jaw? Are you even aware of it? And all these little micro pauses will reduce the accumulative stress. So if your body feels safe, it will let go. If it doesn't, it will hold on. So we really want to encourage you to think about the safety.
And once your body feels safe, you're going to want to fuel it. And it's important to think about fueling your body before thinking about restricting. We want to feed it. When we feed our body the good fuel that it needs, you don't have to spend so much energy thinking about restricting foods that maybe aren't doing your body so good. Typically, it's not about not eating enough. It's really about being underfueled. And protein early in the day, and Laura and I talk about this all the time, protein and fiber. I'm going to talk about protein just for a couple of minutes because we'll go into this more if you join us for our drop 5. But protein early in the morning helps to reduce cravings. It's also another signal for your body that you're safe, that you're being fed. It helps stabilize your blood sugar, reduces late day, night cravings, and it helps to regulate those ghrelin. I like to call them the gremlin hormones. It's the ghrelin, which is the hormone that tells you're hungry. But in addition to helping with muscle growth, we know that with the protein, it also helps to stabilize your blood sugars. And if you start your day with simple carbs, like maybe just some toast and coffee, or you grab that fancy latte, caramel latte, whatever, with a croissant for breakfast, and then you wonder why, you have that 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. slump. That's because that's like a lot of sugar. You get that sugar high and then you're going to drop. So what protein does, it helps to slows the digestion, keeps your blood sugar steadier, prevents those mid-morning crashes. It actually helps you to think clearer and not become so foggy. And it actually provides a satiety and helps you feel fuller, especially when you are combining it with fiber. It's really not as much about willpower. When you fuel your body the right way, it's not going to be craving, because when it has what it really needs, it's going to feel more satisfied. Think of eggs, Greek yogurt, tofu scramble, protein smoothie, those kind of things in the morning is so important. And I didn't always start my day with protein, but I do now, and I find it makes a big difference. And when we add fiber to that, that not only helps us feel full, but it's also good for the nervous system. Fiber doesn't just fill the stomach, it slows the stress response around food. And it tells your nervous system, it's okay, we're good. Again, we're safe. Fiber is going to digest slowly and releases a steady stream of, yeah, we're good. We've been fueled. We feel satisfied. So instead of that urgency, scarcity, I need more right now, you get more of a calm, steady energy when you combine the protein and fiber together. Again, it slows your digestion. Plants first. Always think plants. That's where you're going to get your fiber is from plant foods. Your fruits, your vegetables, your whole grains, all of those. I was really excited to see some of the new, for those of us in the US, the new USDA pyramid. It's a little wonky. I'm not 100% satisfied, but it's all about whole food. And Laura and I have been promoting whole food for several years now. It's really about eating real food and lots of plants. When you combine your protein and fiber, it reduces your insulin spikes. You don't get that crash. And often, if we're eating low fiber, ultra processed foods, we get hungry faster, and then we're stressed because I didn't eat that much. I only had a little bowl of cereal. I shouldn't be gaining weight. But what happens? The stress comes on because you're stressed about it. It's not really giving you the fuel you need, and you're gonna if you keep eating that way, you're going to end up finding other things to eat because you're just going to be hungry. This will retrain your body to trust regular meals. So for breakfast, think eggs with vegetables, mushrooms. A great thing to do. And I love, if you like eggs, go ahead and cook up whatever kind of veggies you like ahead of time, mushrooms, spinach, onion, peppers, whatever feels good to you. Do a nice big batch of that maybe on the weekend, and then during the week, all you have to do is scramble up some eggs, throw in a little bit of that. You can keep the container, it keeps well for 4 or 5 days. You throw some of the veggies in, and then you've got it quick. A Greek yogurt is much higher in protein. Add some berries, some nuts and seeds to it, and you've got your fiber along with it. A tofu scramble, it's just like an egg, but you add, instead of eggs, you chop up tofu and add some veggies in there. If you have a smoothie, make sure you've got some fiber, chia seeds, flax seeds, all really good. And then minerals, we don't often talk about minerals, and I'm not going to go into it in depth here, but minerals are messengers in your body. They make energy really important. And one of the things that you want to know about minerals is that a lot of our foods are devoid of the types of vitamins and minerals they had years ago, right? So that's something that's really good to supplement. But Laura and I were in a class last night, and magnesium is so important. It is a key player in 600 different body functions in our body. So magnesium you get from leafy greens, nuts, seeds, those kind of things. But sodium, if you're eating whole foods, make sure you do get some salt. If you're eating a lot of processed foods, you're going to get too much salt. But sodium is important. We've got to have a little bit of sodium. Low sodium can lead to fatigue and headaches, cravings of that crunchy, salty food. Again, magnesium supports stress quality, sleep quality. It's really good at night to have if you're taking a magnesium supplement, but if you have a lot of leafy greens in your dinner meal, those have the dark green leafies have a lot of magnesium, helps with sugar cravings, restlessness at night. So beans, seeds, all of that. Just the thing I like to promote is when we eat a wide variety of foods, that's the best opportunity to get all of those different vitamins and minerals that we need. If you look to expand the foods that you eat, that is going to help with that a whole lot. Yep.
And all of you guys, what's really interesting is, and I know, Dara, we talked about this, is that sometimes when you feel like we're craving something, it's not for food, it's for specific minerals. And I think this is why when you guys go, I'm going to be very upfront here. When people go to the doctor because they feel A, B, and C, I'm tired all the time or whatever. Very rarely would the doctor talk about anything to do with menopause and that, whatever. But how often do they ask you, okay, how many glasses of water are you having a day? Are you getting potassium? Are you getting magnesium? do you even know where it comes from? So maybe they don't ask those questions. They say, a salad, what's normally in your salad? And ask the questions. And are you using Celtic salt? Are you using, what kind of salt are you using? And of your day, of your week, how many times you go to Burger King? Like non-judgmental questions, just to get to the root of what the body's actually starving for. And when we're tired, which a lot of it can be nutritional, stress, all these things we're talking about, and I cannot wait for the challenge to dive deep, especially into that magnesium, because it's so under educated. And people, I was talking to someone earlier today, they take it during the day. That's not when you should be taking magnesium. And I think very important for us to think that sometimes our craving might not just be for food. It might be for sleep. It might be for more minerals. Why do we yawn a lot? Why are my muscles sore? So as we get near the end here, and like once again, we've mentioned the 5-day challenge. A lot of this, it starts on Sunday, but a lot of this stuff we deep dive into, and it's just so super fun. And with the new USDA pyramid being spot on, we also have to educate people how to use that pyramid. And movement is non-negotiable. But movement is also information. It's not punishment. When your body moves, gives your information to your body, and your body will adapt to what you repeatedly ask it to do. So I walk 2 miles every day. Now I have to switch that up because my body, that's like nothing for my body anymore. I need to like either walk faster during intervals, or I need to change how I'm walking 2 miles, or I need to change, am I going to go farther? Am I going to do something in the middle of the walk? But I have to switch it up so my body can then adapt to something else. So it's your health and wellness is a ladder that goes up. So let's just take your physical and mental wellness, actually holistically everything. Your body just is a constant state of improvement with wellness. There's not like I get to this point and go, oh, I got it. No. Ask my mom of 97. Every day she has a exercise routine. She has a journal. She has to think how she's going to budget her energy today. So walking, to go to something as simple as that, amazing for stress, lowering cortisol, getting your blood sugar level, and helping your mood. But make sure it's walking without stress. And what I mean by that is I say, hey, Kat, you said start moving. Okay, I'm going to meet you tomorrow morning. What time? Okay, 9 o'clock. Great. Let's go walking. If I walk too slow and she's fast, it's going to drive her crazy because she's going to feel like she has to keep up with me because, that whole thing. And that's one reason why people get frustrated and have the reverse response to their walking. Either set your boundaries. We're going to walk down to that fire engine and back, Cat, and I want you to pick your own speed. Oh, you go tons faster than me. Oh, go ahead. But we have to find your own pace, especially because I know, Dara, you go walking with people and pace is going to be different. And sometimes because the pace isn't the same, you get frustrated with the scene. And just to remind you, that can happen. So set your boundaries for who you're going to work out. But change in your body requires challenge, whether it's you challenging yourself to get more minerals, challenging yourself to look at your meals just for a pause before you sit down and mindfully eat. What's on that plate for you to think when you go to bed tonight, planning out the day tomorrow. So going back to the first thing we talked about, you guys, stress, bad stress in the world of exercise, punishing workouts. You're going to burn it off. And mentally, that can do something too. Exhaustion, no recovery time. These types of workouts, which a lot of you have seen if you haven't done yourself, that is a bad stress. A good stress is when you're following me on Facebook in our exercise group, but when you're doing short, intentional, everything we've talked about tonight is intentional, repeatable work, and followed by recovery, followed by a nice easy walk afterward, just to get the blood flow, any lactic acid buildup, which we educate you on, out of your body. And a whole bunch of stuff happens next week with strength training. But your overall, all of you ladies, we have to do strength training. Another whole subject, we discuss it in the challenge, why it is so important for your longevity, for you to for your body to function and metabolize. But Dearly also mentioned snacks. We call them movement snacks. So they're just practical, reliable, 1 minute to win it, a walk, short strength. And you can pick up soup cans in your kitchen and march on the spot for a minute. That's strength training because it's more than what you normally did. But I do want to, before we go, show you what a lymphatic shakedown is, because that's super important. But if our takeaways tonight are that movement builds momentum, not exhaustion. And a lymphatic shakedown, here's what's crazy. I don't do age, but I've done a lot of certifications in personal training and blah, blah, blah. And I teach the education. Very rarely do they mention lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is our detoxification. It's a pump. It's how you detoxify yourself. It does not run by itself. The only way the pump moves is if you move. So little kids used to be really good at this because we didn't have electronics and didn't have double hardworking parents, and kids, they played outside until it got dark and they came in and had dinner and maybe homework and then they went to bed. That's what life has changed for a lot of people. But they're constantly bouncing. Now in school, they're sitting down a lot. They're not so much activity. So our lymphatic system is not pumping the way it should. And I know that if I mention cancer, every single one of you, I'm sure, know someone or heard a story, someone dealing with cancer or an illness, and it went into their lymph nodes. I'm willing to bet, I'll be straight up here, that 98% of those people weren't moving because you can't, nothing's going to get really stuck in your lymph nodes unless if you're moving, because that's how it moves. There's one guy great I met over COVID. He had cancer really badly. He bounced 7 minutes a day in a trampoline and his cancer disappeared. I'm not saying that's everybody. I'm just saying for him, he got a lymphatic moving. And this is how simple it is. I'm going to sit in a chair and do it. Okay. My feet are touching the ground. Oh, I have to tell you one more thing. And I'm just going to bounce. Just like when you're little and go, oh, this is bouncing. I have maybe my bum is going up and down. I'm not leaving the chair. I have no stress on my knees. My hands can relax. My arms can relax. And I can do that for a minute and totally get my lymphatic system moving. Or better yet, stand up. My feet don't have to leave the ground and I can just bounce. Yeah, you might have to hold on. But just bounce. And you know what? You might have a stressful moment. Sheridan, maybe your work is so high powered. There might be a time you go, I'll be right back. And you go into the bathroom and you close the door and go, oh, just to relieve some of that stress. And the lymphatic shakedown is magic. For two reasons. Number one, lymphatic system, but your energy flows through your meridians, which comes out your fingers and your toes. So by you shaking your hands off, you know, the expression shake it off came from that. Just by you shaking your hands can get energy you want to get rid of out of your fingertips, out of your toes. So all these things have to do with moving, listening to your body. And one thing Dara mentioned in some research she did was feeling grounded, not frantic. And you taking time to put your feet in the dirt, in the sand, put boots on, go outside, put it in the snow, feeling grounded, even, and this is this big pause we're talking about. We could give you 100 different things, but just you begging you, please, tomorrow, if not tonight, give yourself at least 30 seconds of just putting on the pause button, reflecting back on your day, and knowing that you are where you are right now. Doesn't matter about the past. Going forward, how do you want to look at yourself in the mirror? How do you want to feel? And if we can really capture how we want to feel emotionally in our body. Right now I'm going, why is my neck sore? And I've got to think about that for a little while. What did I do today? Just how do we want to feel? And my gosh, let's hit this year of the horse with some determination, some strength, because when we feel good, everyone else around us goes, oh my gosh, Mia, what are you doing? I want some of that. And that's what I think it's all about. And that's where my passion is. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, that was great, Laura. And so we want to invite you all to our Drop 5 challenge, which starts next Sunday. I just dropped the link. It's free. It's 5 nights, and we're going to bring take you through so much information. I have more stuff to cover tonight, but we're now out of time. We don't want to keep you any longer, and I'll just add it to next week because we've got 5 hours worth of goods for you, an hour each night, and look forward to it. So thank you for your time. We will send out the recording and hope we see you all next Sunday.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank
Thanks
you
a
guys
lot.
for coming.
Thanks a
Okay,
lot.
thank
See you
you.
again.
That was very interesting.
All right. Great. Glad you liked it. Alrighty.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Love you.